that today I have completed, akmaltu lakum, I have completed your deen, your religion for you. Wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati, and I have completed my blessing upon you. And I have chosen Islam as a religion, as a deen for you. This verse was revealed in the 9th of Dhul Hijjah. Then on the 11th, or some say on the 12th of Dhul Hijjah, Surah An-Nasr was revealed. This was the last complete surah that was revealed to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحِ, when Allah's help and victory comes. And what is Allah's help and victory? Allah's help and victory is not necessarily in the form of the conquest of land or building an empire. Victory is وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا, and you see, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, you see people entering Islam, embracing Islam, afwaj, from fauj, afwaja, in groups, in crowds, in droves. Not one shahada here, one person taking the shahada here, thousands of people accepting Islam at the same time within a single day. When you see that happening, then what are you to do, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ. In other words, your mission is complete. So, فَسَبِّحْ, glorify the praise of your Lord and seek His forgiveness. Now, there was a subtle indication that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam's time to leave this world was near. His departure was near, because once a person's mission is complete, there is no reason for that person to stay in that location any longer. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam's mission is complete. That is why Abu Bakr radiallahu anh, when he heard this surah, he began to weep, because he understood the depth of the meaning of this surah. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, after this surah, told the Sahaba who were with him, the 100,000 plus Sahaba who were with him in Hajj, during the Hajj season, in the 10th year, that Asa Allah talqawni ba'da amikum hadha, perhaps you will not see me after this year. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam further said, learn the rituals of Hajj from me. Learn the Hajj from me. Perhaps you will not be able to see me after this year. Now Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam returns to Medina. It is Muharram, the 11th year. The 11th year, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam sends Mu'adh ibn Jabal to Yemen. And you know that famous story where Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he walks from miles and miles outside of Medina to depart, to say goodbye, al-wida, to Mu'adh ibn Jabal. Like someone comes to our home as a guest, we at least walk to the front door when they are leaving. That is part of Islamic etiquettes, that you should go with your guest as far as you can. If you can go up to his car, go up to his car. As he's driving away, stay in your driveway as long as you can see his car drive away. That's part of Islamic etiquette when you say goodbye to someone, that you escort them as far as you can. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he escorted Mu'adh ibn Jabal, according to one narration, 7 miles outside of Medina. And he told Mu'adh, O Mu'adh, when you return from Yemen, perhaps you will not see me, you will pass by my grave. And on this Mu'adh ibn Jabal, he began to cry. And then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Inna awla nas bi yawm al-qiyamah al-muttaqoon. The one who is most closest to me on the day of judgment, regardless of which continent he lives on or dies on, the one who is most closest to me on the day of judgment is the one who has most taqwa, God conscious, muttaqoon. This was in the month of Muharram, 11th year. Safar, the next month, on the 29th of Safar, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam leads a Salatul Janaza and buries a Sahabi in Jannatul Baqi. On the way back, coming from Jannatul Baqi, the cemetery, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam feels a slight headache. This is the beginning of the illness that persisted for 2 complete weeks. 29th of Safar, 29th of Safar, 30th of Safar. How many days is that? 2. And then 12 days of Rabiul Awwal, because Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam passed away on the 12th. on a Monday. So 12 days of Rabiul Awwal and the last 2 days of Safar. How many days total? 14 days. 14 days was the total number of days Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam went through this illness, which was basically a headache and fever that would not let go. A headache that intensified as days went by. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would ask his wives, whose turn is it tomorrow? In terms of wives, whose turn is it tomorrow? So the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they understood that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam wants to stay at the house of Aisha radiallahu anha. So this happened 1 week before on a Monday. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away on a Monday. The 1 week before on a Monday, the wives decided that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam will stay at the house of Aisha radiallahu anha till he feels better. Then this first week, out of these 2 weeks, the first week Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was going for the prayers and was leading the prayer in Masjid al-Nabawi without assistance, without needing any assistance. But in the second week, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam at times would need the assistance of Ali radiallahu anh on one side, putting his hand on Ali radiallahu anhu's shoulder, and Fadl ibn Abbas on the other side. And with their help, with their support, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam would go to the masjid. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam on one occasion, he sat on the mimbar and he asked the Sahaba, that, do I owe anyone anything? Have I done any wrong to anyone? And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam kept on repeating this statement. Have I wronged anyone? Do I owe anyone any dirham? Do I owe anyone any dinars? Do not bring your dispute to me on the day of judgment. That should be our attitude. We should settle all our affairs in this life. We don't want any person who we have done wrong to or anyone's right who we have not fulfilled to come to us on the day of judgment demanding his right. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam kept on saying, have I wronged anyone? Have I done anything? Do I owe anyone any money? Do I owe anyone anything? One Sahabi, Ukasha, he came and he said, O Nabi of Allah, you had struck me with a stick while forming the lines in battle. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, okay, take your retribution. This Sahabi, he came and he then said that on that day, I did not have a shirt on my back. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam took off his shirt. All the Sahaba, their jaws dropped. What is happening? What is happening? Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam is presenting his back for retribution. And then this Sahabi, he came and he kissed the seal that was between the shoulder blades of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. It was like a birthmark. It said Khatamun Nabiyyin, the seal of prophets. He came and kissed that seal and said, this is all I wanted. Then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam told the Sahaba, say salam to my brothers. They said, are we not your brothers? Alasna ikhwanuka ya Rasulallah. He said, no, you are bal antum ashabi. You are my Sahaba. This is the last 1 week of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. He said, you are my Sahaba. My brothers are those who will come after me, who have not seen me, but have believed in me. Those are my brothers. Say salam to them. And then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam asked that there were 7 different wells in Medina. He said, bring water, collect the water from those 7 wells. And they brought the water from those 7 wells. And there was a tub that was brought. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam sat in the tub and water was poured on him. Little by little, water was poured on him. That helped reduce the fever somewhat. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam would tie a bandana, a red bandana on his forehead to help with the headache that he would feel constantly. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, then on a Monday morning, this is the Monday Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam left this world. On a Monday morning, he first asked his wives, actually in Fajr prayer, even before Fajr prayer. This is the prayer that Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu led. In total, Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh led 17 prayers. Thursday, Maghrib. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam passed away on a Monday. Thursday, Maghrib was the last prayer that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam led. So he said, Muru Abu Bakrin an yusalliya bin nas. Tell Abu Bakr to lead the prayers. So Thursday, Isha, count with me. Thursday, Isha, 5 prayers of Friday, 5 prayers of Saturday, 5 prayers of Sunday, and the Fajr of Monday. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam passed away before Dhuhr. So how many prayers is that total? 17 prayers Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu led while Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was still in this world. And on one of those prayers, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, after having this bath from 7 different wells, felt somewhat better, and he went to pray the prayer while Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was leading it. And Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, sensing that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is there, began to step back. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam instructed Abu Bakr with his hand to continue to pray. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam sat next to Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu an and prayed behind Abu Bakr radiallahu an, while Abu Bakr radiallahu an led the prayer. Then in the Fajr morning of Monday, Fajr, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam felt somewhat better. And this happens to a lot of people who are, when there's a few hours left or a day or two left, they feel somewhat better. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam felt somewhat better on that Monday morning. So he got up and he walked to the door of his house. And the curtain that served as a door, as a partition between his house and the masjid, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam put that curtain to the side, pulled that curtain to the side, and the Sahaba, they sensed that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is standing there. Out of joy, they're about to break their prayer. They all turned in that direction because they sensed Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was standing there. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam smiled. And the Shurahul Hadith, those who explain Hadith, they say there are probably 2 reasons why Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam smiled. One is because the mission that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had been sent with, that mission is now complete. And he is satisfied that he has transferred that obligation, that responsibility over to the ummah. The second is Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam smiled at the fact that the whole ummah was united behind one Imam, Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh. That unity that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam observed within the Sahaba, in the ranks of the Sahaba, as they were praying Fajr prayer behind Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh, brought that smile on the face of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he called his wives first, one by one, to say goodbye to them. Then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam called Fatima radiallahu anha. And he said, bring your ear close to my mouth. So then she brought her ear close. She was the only surviving child of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he passed away. Imagine, all the sons and daughters of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam had passed away. Fatima radiallahu anha is the only surviving. And she brings her ear close. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says something and she smiles. She cries. And then Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, bring your ear close again. She brings her ear close for the second time, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says something, and now she smiles. Then when asked, why did you first cry? Why did you then laugh? She says, first, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam told me that he was going to leave this world today. Second is he told me that I would be the first to join him. And that is why I smiled. Fatima radiallahu anha passed away 6 months after Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam left this world. Then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam calls Ali radiallahu anhu. And Ali radi puts his head on his lap. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam is patting his head. Then and gives him dua. Then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam calls Hassan and Hussein radiallahu anhuma. Then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam calls the different Sahaba. Abdullah ibn Masud radiallahu anh, he says, O Nabi of Allah, how are we to wash you and shroud you? He said, well, my Ahle Bayt, the male members of my family, will wash me. And they washed Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam with his clothes on. And then after you have washed me and shrouded me, then leave me alone. Leave me in the room to myself, because angels will come and pray the Salatul Janazah. First, angel Jibreel will come and pray the Salatul Janazah. And then the angels of the seventh heaven, angels of the sixth heaven, fifth heaven, fifth, fourth, third, second, first, all the angels, after they have prayed their Salatul Janazah, then my Ahle Bayt will come and pray the Salatul Janazah in groups. First the Ahle Bayt, the male members, then the female members will pray my Salatul Janazah. There will be no Imam. There was no Imam to lead Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam Salatul Janazah, because the Imam who leads the Salatul Janazah is usually preferred that he be better than the deceased, because he's making dua for the deceased. So it is preferred that his rank should be more pious, more muttaqi than the deceased. Is there anyone who is more pious than Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? So there's no question about anyone being the Imam for Salatul Janazah. So people came in groups, Sahaba came in groups, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, and prayed their Salatul Janazah, standing quietly, and then left. Then this happened, of course. Then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam has his head on the lap of Aisha radiallahu anha. And Abdul Rahman, the brother of Aisha radiallahu anha, he walks in with a miswak. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam looks at that miswak, but he doesn't have enough physical strength to say anything. But he's looking, he's staring at the miswak. So Aisha radiallahu anha understood that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam wants this miswak. So she took it from her brother and she chewed it. She made it moist for Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and then she did the miswak on Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam's teeth. That is why she says, I have two specialties. I have two specialties. When Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam passed away, my saliva was in his mouth. And when Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam passed away, his head was on my lap. These are the two specialties I have that no one else has. Then after using that miswak, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam tells his ummah, as-salat wa ma malakat aymanukum. As-salat wa ma malakat aymanukum. This is the last advice Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam gave to this ummah. Salat. Now we should think a little bit of introspection on some flimsy, silly excuse. How many times do I leave salat? How many times do we leave salat? On some silly excuse. And what is the last advice of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam? As-salat wa ma malakat aymanukum. Salat, and be mindful of those who you have authority over. Slaves, servants, spouse, children, students, employees, governed. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is saying, don't abuse your authority, don't abuse your power. Salat, and don't abuse your power over other human beings. These are the last advice. Then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam sees Angel Jibreel standing there, and he introduces Malakul Maut, the angel of death. And Malakul Maut says, do I have permission to come inside? Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, yes. He says, Allah has instructed me to ask permission from you. Otherwise, an angel of death does not need permission to enter anyone's house. Then the angel of death asks, do I have permission to take your soul? Allah has instructed me to first ask you, would you like to return back to Allah, or would you like to stay? And this ikhtiyar, this choice has only been given to you. Then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam looks at Jibreel alayhi salam, and Jibreel alayhi salam replies, Allah is waiting for you anxiously. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam chooses Allahumma rafiq al-a'la. Allahumma rafiq al-a'la. These were the last words of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, which means I choose the supreme companion. I choose the higher companion. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's ruh left his body. Aisha radiallahu anha gave out a shriek, and the Sahaba came. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu came, and he kissed the forehead of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and said, Tibta hayyan wa tibta mayyitan. You were handsome, beautiful when you were alive, and you were handsome and beautiful now. Abu Bakr, Sahaba, most of them were stunned, speechless, unable to speak. They could not believe the news that they had just heard. And Umar radiallahu anh drew out his sword and said, if anyone says that Muhammad has died, I will deal with him with this sword. Abu Bakr radiallahu anh got on the mimbar and told Umar, listen, and told the Sahaba, listen, man kana ya'budu Muhammadan fa inna Muhammadan qad maat. وَمَنْ كَانَ يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ حَيٌّ لَا يَمُوتُ Whoever used to worship Muhammad, know that Muhammad has died. And whoever used to worship Allah, know that Allah is ever living and never dies. Then the washing and the janazah took place on Wednesday. So my dear brothers and sisters, how long are we going to live this life? When are we going to bring about a change? What did we have Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam as the role model, his sunnah as a guide for us. We have the Quran in front of us. The month of Ramadan is ending, only a few days left. We have to it is all within inside of us. What has to change is the inside. If each one of us, including myself, makes this determination that from now on, from this Ramadan, I will be a different person. I will be a better person, inshallah. I will not miss a single salat. And the day I miss a prayer, I will make it up before I go to sleep. I will follow the sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the best of my example. I will do the best to bring my children up according to the Islamic guidelines. We make this intention, Allah will help us. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ. Please pray your sunnah.